So are you currently at a place in your photography journey where your main source of inspiration, your children, have either got to that age where they're no longer happy to be the main source of your photos, or maybe they've grown up and left the nest? Or maybe you've never had kids and are just not feeling inspired and you don't know what to photograph in your daily life. Whatever it is for you, right now you don't feel inspired and motivated to pick up your camera. So if that's you, you are going to love today's episode, because in it, I'm going to share with you how you can find moments of inspiration for photos in your everyday life. So hello there, I'm Audrey-Ann. I'm the founder of Live Snap Love and the Photography Made Simple podcast, where I aim to give you the tools and resources you need in order to capture the beauty of your days through photography. Now, like many women before me, my love of photography really took off after my son was born. And I wanted to capture all of our moments together, all of our days, all of those first. So I wanted to capture our days together when he was a new baby, that little chubby cheeks when they get that little bit bigger, the first steps, those toddler years, all the first that went beyond that. So I would capture everything that went on in our daily lives, both big and small. So it didn't matter if it was just an activity like painting or going to the beach, or the bigger things like, birthday parties or holidays. I captured it all, and I have years and years of wonderful photo books that document our lives together. But over the last few years, my son has got to the point where he doesn't really want to have his photo taken that much. In fact, he probably doesn't actually want to be in the same room with me all that often anymore. We have hit the teenage years. And for a while, it definitely had left me feeling unmotivated because I didn't really know where to go next in my photography journey. And it certainly took me a little bit of time to figure it out. And I'm not ashamed to say that weeks, in fact months, went by when I didn't really pick up my camera. Or if I did, I would snap a couple of shots, not really feel inspired or creative, and it would go back down again. And it has taken me some considerable time to figure out where I go from here. What is the next steps on my photography journey? And that's really what I wanted to share with you today, is just some of the things that I've been doing to help me get my mojo back when it comes to photography, and what the next steps are going to look like for me. So for me, it has come back to the fact that just because my son no longer wants to have his photo taken, the reason for taking those photos in the first place was to capture the beauty in my day-to-day life. And just because my son doesn't want his photo taken anymore doesn't mean that that reason isn't valid anymore. It's absolutely still valid. I just need to find a different way of expressing it. So as I say today, I'm going to give you 3 or 4 different ways that you can approach photography just to find inspiration in your daily life, regardless of whether you have children or your children are grown up or you've never had. This is all about different ways that you can find inspiration for photos in your day-to-day life. So let me kick off with the first thing that you can do, and that is to start a photography project. Now, there are loads of different types of photography projects you can do. Some require you to shoot every day, like a Project 365, some every week, like a Project 52. You can get them with prompts, without prompts. You can do so many different things. Now, the ones that I find particularly useful aren't necessarily a Project 365, because I get a little bit disheartened when I miss a few days, and I'm a perfectionist. So if I've missed a few days, I tend to, lose interest a little bit. And I'm not really that keen on, having someone else tell me what to do. So for me, it has been projects like creativity exercises, the 30 and 30 project, the Currently project, and I have my photography prompts grab bag where I literally print out different prompts. I put them in a jar and I just pick one out every so often, every day or every week, or whenever I feel like I need some inspiration, and I go and do that. Now, whatever one of those projects works for you is what to go for. You may find yourself that a project 365 is a little bit much, or you may like a more structure of having prompts like my photography grab bag or a project 52. Now, I do want to say that we do have a podcast episode all about 5 different photography projects that you can do that don't require you to shoot every day. And I will link to that around where you're watching this video or listening to this podcast. So a photography project will help you simply by giving you some structure and inspiration and guidance around what to photograph so that you have something to actually go and do. Somebody's actually gone and told you or given you an idea of what you need to go and photograph. So that can work really well for you. However, another way to approach this is the way that I tend to do it, and that is to actually just document my own life. So just because my son is more grown up now and not really part of my days so much, doesn't necessarily mean that my days aren't worth capturing anymore. They just look that little bit different. It's a different season of my life, and I'm still committed to capturing it. So again, you can do a project around this actually. You can do a day in the life photography project, but just picking up your camera regularly by seeing the beauty that is around you every single day. So for me, this inspiration normally comes from light. I love the way the light will stream in through a window in the morning. I love it when there's hard light and there's lots of shadows. I love low light. I really revel in seeking out different types of light to photograph in. And that actually is the basis for any amazing photograph, regardless of what you're photographing, is to look to the light first. So a really simple scene like what's happening in your kitchen or where you have your morning cup of coffee or what you're doing at night can all be made to look fantastic just by your use of light. So that's certainly something that you can focus on, but simply thinking about documenting your own life. So for me, this looks like my morning cup of coffee. It might look my walk down the beach. If I go for a hill walk, I'll take that with me. Any of our travels that we go on, I take it with me on our daily excursions. If I go somewhere with my husband, for example, the art gallery or to a coffee shop, then yes, I take my camera with me there. And I have taken so many photos that I love simply by taking my camera with me and photographing the day-to-day moments of my life. So that's 2 different ideas for you so far. You can either document your own life or you can look to do a photography project that gives you different prompts and ideas. The next thing you can do is look at different genres of photography and see which one you would like to explore next. So for me, this is just one of the wonderful things about photography. It is how many new things there are to learn and different ways that you can put the same core skills into work. So I'm going to give you some ideas for different genres, just ones that I have found myself getting interested in and getting more deeply involved in. But do know that there are so much more than I'm going to share with you today. So if these don't float your boat, have a look at other genres. But the first genre for me that I have absolutely been loving is macro photography. Now, this isn't something that was new to me. I did this alongside my love of photographing my day-to-day life with my children and having a portrait photography business. I enjoyed macro. For me, it was always this way of therapy almost through photography by looking at just the smaller details in the world and then how I could bring them to life through photography. It really is such a stress buster and it really does make you appreciate the beauty that is around you everywhere. Now, one of the reasons I love macro photography is I don't need to leave my house to go and do it. I find inspiration in my kitchen, in my back garden, just in the flowers that we maybe have brought into the house. Absolutely anything and everything can be a fantastic macro subject. And this is something that I really found myself doing over and over again, is these different macro challenges, because I really enjoy it. Now, it does have its own set of challenges, to be sure, but essentially you can take the same skills that you've already learned, like exposure and light and composition, and then apply them to macro photography. Now, if you are interested in learning more about photography, I do actually have a macro photography workshop for you. You can find out more about that at livesnaplove.com/macro. So if you're interested in macro, be sure to check that out. Another genre of photography that I find myself interested in is food photography. Again, I think it's because I'm inherently lazy and I can do that from the privacy and comfort of my own home. But food photography is again something else where you can take the core skills that you've already learned about light and composition and everything else and apply that to taking food photos. There is a certain skill involved in food photography. And again, it has a different set of challenges, but I think that's the wonderful thing about photography is that each genre has its own set of challenges to keep you amused and on your toes. So that is something that I find myself looking at. And again, it does allow you to be really creative with your positioning of your subjects because essentially it's a still life photography, how you arrange everything in the frame, the different colors, the light that you use. Again, it really does allow you to be so creative. And the third type of photography that I find myself interested in is street photography. And I think the reason that I am drawn to this particular genre is like it's documentary photography, but without the child. So I'm taking all the same skills that I learned for documenting our day-to-day life. Again, light and composition, but also things like focus or how to focus on fast-moving subjects that really, aren't paying the blindest bit of attention to you. Again, all that comes into play with street photography. And again, we're still looking at that same core principles: light, composition, exposure, interesting moments, storytelling. All that comes into play with street photography. And again, it's just a really interesting genre, and it's something that you don't have to go far from your home to do. You can go to any street in any location and enjoy street photography. But I really enjoyed going to other cities. I recently went to London and I had so much fun doing street photography there. And I have some more planned as well because I really enjoy it in different locations as well. So that's just some of the genres that I've been looking at. And of course, they might not be for you. You might enjoy photographing birds or landscapes or architecture. There is a genre and usually subgenres of photography for absolutely everyone. So just get out there and start exploring and see what you come up with. Now, the final option I have for you might not be for everyone, and that is to start your own photography business. I know many photographers who started by exclusively photographing their own children who have gone on to become child and family portrait photographers, or they like photographing seniors, or even going on to become wedding photographers. And even if you don't like photographing people, you can also look at selling your art, maybe creating things like postcards or getting your images up in a local cafe, selling them as fine art prints. There is so many different ways that you can go with that to make money from your photography. So there you have it, a few different ways that you can find inspiration for photos in your daily life. Now, I'd love to know which one of these has resonated with you, or if you have something else that you're exploring. Leave a comment below and I would love to hear what you're going to be focusing on next. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, then please consider subscribing wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and that way you will stay in the loop when new episodes are released. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again, same time, same place next week. Bye for now.